Surprise! We're not dead.
Yay!
Yay! This is a lonely little channel now. Just these couch chats.
We don't know that yet.
And maybe other stuff. We haven't thought of it.
I like the couch chats.
James and Thomas from the main channel stole our format.
And killed us.
Bunch
of murderers.
Unacceptable.
What are we, CEOs?
Okay.
So,
anyway.
Speaking of throwing shade.
Yes.
Doug DeMuro.
Oh, yeah. I forgot what video we're doing. This is it.
We love you, Doug.
Oh, by the way, you're watching Extra Throttle House. This is a couch chat. I'm Thomas.
And I'm
He's James.
Yes,
Recently, he did a video explaining all the things that have gone wrong while he was filming.
And really, the headline is it rained.
It rained.
Oh, it rained.
But what about the time he had to drive?
Yeah, can we say this? Can we say this without him being here?
Doug.
You watched Jake Paul versus Tyson.
Doug, we love you. We love you, but this was funny to us because all the things that happened to you in your whole video happened to us every shoot.
Yes, the conclusion, Doug, is you don't even know.
You don't even know.
And I'm sure producers from like Top Gear and Grand Tour will have the same opinion about this video.
Yeah, exactly. They're like 8 people died.
Every half an hour.
Every half an hour. Okay. So here's some stuff. It took us a minute to think of all of the things that have befallen us while we have filmed videos over the years. So here's some highlights.
There's also some stuff we caused. So that became enough things for it to be its own video.
Yeah, so, stupid stuff we've done.
Stupid stuff we've done.
We kept saying them like, oh, that was a terrible thing. And he was like, yeah, but that was your fault.
Yes.
They go, right, okay, so that shouldn't go in this video.
If there are things you're thinking of, like Ford GTs spinning out, that's another
That's
video.
his fault. That's not
this
a
is
thing
stuff that just
happened to us. We were bystanders in these situations.
This has happened to us.
Yes. Let's kick it off, I guess, with one of the bigger stories. So, many moons ago.
Paint us a picture.
Yeah, many moons ago, you may have seen a video that we did right before the pandemic hit, where Jason Camisa and Randy Popst came to us in California, and we filmed one of the most ambitious things we've ever filmed.
Before we had even Carsten.
It was literally me. It was me. I filmed the whole thing.
Okay. We won't tell the whole story, because that is a brilliant story for another time.
Yeah.
Including moments where I said good night in the Airbnb and Randy Popes replied, good night.
That was weird.
That was really surreal.
Yeah.
But it was marred with difficulty and challenge. 3 main challenges.
Yes. They're going in an ascending order of how challenging they were.
Yeah. Number 1 was the Camaro ZL1 we borrowed from a street racing naughty man.
Yes.
But lovely fella.
Very nice guy.
Had mismatched tires.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to do any of the testing improperly because we were doing proper testing. And
the day before was an insane run around Southern California trying to find a dealership that had those tires in stock and would install them.
But it wasn't the day before. It was the day of.
It was the day of?
Yeah. While you and Jason were filming the GT500 and the Challenger, I took the Camaro to the dealership to have it changed. Yeah. To make sure it had, I think the Supercar 3Rs, I think that's the tire.
It was one of those things where while we were writing and coming up with ideas and filming and doing stuff, and I was doing all the filming, James is on the phone in between takes trying to find tires the whole day. Eventually found them. We got the tires put on.
I will admit though, that is a Doug DeMuro level of difficulty.
That is not that difficult. It's about to get worse.
But it compounds because Jason
arrived
as patient 0, he thinks, of COVID.
COVID.
He was deathly ill.
He was so sick.
He got on a plane, and the moral to this story is Jason Camisa mensch.
He's a legend.
Absolute hero.
Yeah.
He got on a plane from San Francisco, arrived with maybe a Santa's sack worth of pharmaceutical items that he was just consuming.
Yeah.
And he somehow just...
I'll never forget, we're in the Airbnb and you and I are like going over the stuff that we've written for the next day where we start shooting. Randy Popst is in his nightcap, like this, sleeping, ready to shoot. And then Jason comes down to us in his boxers, sits down on the couch beside us and goes, guys, I think I might be too sick to film tomorrow. And we have no money at this point. We spent all our money on this shoot.
This was like a $10,000 shoot, which was at the time we were like, okay, if we never make another penny, it will just be something that was worth doing.
Yeah. Like we bought Airbnb, we flew everyone in, paying everybody. And Jason came out in his boxers and said, I think he had his heart rate monitor on his wrist and he said, look, and he was sitting totally stationary and his heart rate was like 155.
Yeah. He was medically dead.
It made no sense.
And he came out and he filmed and he
did.
And he spoke emphatically and passionately.
Yeah, and in between takes, he's like...
The moment the camera stopped, he was... He drove so well, and I remember he drove me in the Challenger around the canyons quite quickly, and I was like, this is an ill man. And somehow that wasn't even the hardest thing. This all happens in a 48-hour period. The most difficult thing was we got back at the end of that night.
Okay, so quick picture of that day. The second day, we were at the track. So again, I'm by myself. I think I had one other person we hired to I said, here, stand here, point camera this way.
Yeah.
But I filmed all the B-roll of the whole thing. And back then, the way we did our cameras was we just had a little microphone on a wire. Yeah. We plugged it right into the actual camera mounted to the window. And I went out. We only had these cars for one day. We were flying home the next day.
The next morning.
The next morning.
And the GT500 was big news.
It was big news. We were very early to it. It was very exciting. I filmed my entire in-car at the track, got home that night, and like zombies, it was like a 15 or 16 hour day at least. And I was downloading all the footage to back it up.
I was gone.
You were, I've never seen you so zonked. Yeah, this is how you're about to know why he was so zonked. I said to him, I said, James, what? I said, all of my audio for my entire in-car for the GT500 on the track is missing. It's just me talking with no sound. And he said...
No, it wasn't. It was just radio static.
Oh, sorry. It was just static.
Just static.
It was static, yeah.
The whole review was gone.
Yeah, it was completely blank. And he goes, I can't think about this right now. And he just went to bed.
You couldn't deal with it.
Nothing we could do. So, and you're going to love this. You're all going to go back and watch the video. My entire in-car for my GT500 review on the track is actually in a canyon on the way to the airport in the GT500 with James sitting beside me, where I, as best I could remember, yelled the same things at the camera that I said on the previous day and overexposed the camera so that you couldn't see that we weren't at Willow Springs. So the window was all white.
Unless there was a tree.
And then,
so I had to say, tree, and I had to
stop talking.
Stop delivering, and then carry on the moment the tree was passed, because you could just see a tree go past.
And we had literally one chance to do this, because there was one stretch of canyon road on the way to the airport where we couldn't
in
miss
daylight for an early flight.
So that entire in-car is one take in between James yelling tree, not at Willow Springs, completely off the cuff. So feel free to go back and take a look at that after the rest of this video. You don't want to hear the rest of these stories, but
I actually have a memory of a Prius C, the little hatchback Prius, going quicker up your ass while you were doing that GT500 review in the canyon.
Right, yeah.
And it was like, what the hell is that thing doing? And it was so quick.
That's right, I forgot about that.
But yeah, so that was a hell of a 2 days, and then we came back, and I don't think we'd ever held an SD card as though it was our lifeblood.
Yeah, that was an absolutely terrifying shoot. And the fact that it all came together, and I think in a couple days I edited it.
Yeah. And it's done almost 10 million views.
That's one of our bigger achievements on this channel for sure.
And yeah, people get annoyed at me just because, the only comment is, why did James put Justin Trudeau on the window? And that's a totally fair question.
That's a totally fair question.
It was just supposed to be whoever the representative of the country was at the time.
Yeah, it was just a joke. That's like one of the top comments.
So that was that trip. There's a whole page to go. Hopefully, you're in the mood for this.
Yeah. So I just want to say right away, compared to Doug Namiro.
Well, no, to be fair, Doug had one where he arrived in Australia and he was not able to drive the Enzo that he'd organised. So let's at least match that quickly.
Okay.
So going back slightly further than the GT...
That would be annoying.
That's annoying. 100% is a real problem. And we'll give you that one, Doug.
Yes.
Because we had a similar experience.
Yeah.
We had booked a Rolls-Royce Phantom press car somehow. Because Rolls-Royce North America, we were small at the time and they didn't seem to know who we were. And
this was also pre-COVID, this one.
Yeah. This was before the GT500 video.
Just before, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is when we went to go drive a Passat at the launch.
Yes. And then had a Rolls-Royce press car.
But I didn't understand why they gave it. Anyway.
Yeah.
Long story short, we knew we wanted to do an old versus new, and it was sort of one of our first old versus news. And we called a dealership that had the old one. We were like, here's what we want to do. He was like, great. And then we went there, at great expense. And when we got there, he was like, here it is. And we were like, great, we'll see you at the end of the day. And he said, you can't drive it.
What are you talking about? You can't take it.
And we were like, what? But we have to.
What do you mean?
He said, here's what I'll do. I'll drive it to this car park where you're going to film the statics. And then I'll Uber home. And then at the end of the day, I'll come get it.
We were like,
100%.
100%.
Yeah, 100%. That's
Yeah.
fine. And then we drove it all day.
Then we drove it all day. Yeah. And filmed a video, and it's also got about 10 million views.
Yeah. But he'd sold it before the video even came out. So I know that seems underhanded, but we did look after it.
We did.
And we did follow shots with the other Phantom.
And we put like 10 million views on his dealership.
Yes. I
Yeah.
don't think he's even watched the video.
I don't think he cares.
He don't care. So there you go. That happened. Also, speaking of arriving at cars that we weren't expecting to be...
It's the other way around. This one arrived at us, and we were expecting it to be a BMW 850 CSI.
Yeah, we got all hopped up on the 850 CSI last year.
Yeah.
And we wrote a video. We don't normally write videos. We
We do. We don't usually write them in this. We had a sketch. We had the ins and outs for voiceovers and stuff. We were excited about it.
I think it might be the more organised we've ever been.
It was one thing, and then it arrived.
It was just a normal 850.
It was 850. It wasn't a CSI.
It's just the normal 850i.
And the guy's like, "What? What?"
He was a nice guy. No, he was a nice guy. I think he was a bit confused.
Oh yeah, sorry, it wasn't his fault. Yeah.
But unfortunately, it was not the CSI, which is an entirely different car. Jason Camise actually has a brilliant video on the CSI, which he now owns.
Yes. It's an extremely cool car.
So we still have yet to film a CSI, and for the record, I don't think we were that enthralled by the normal 850.
No, it's crap. And apparently the CSI fixes all the problems with it, so we drove it and we're like, we shouldn't make a video on this.
So Jason, let us come make a video on yours.
We've got a great one written.
Okay, so that's those. We also have...
God, there's so many stories here.
Yeah, you saw in the road trip, you saw that our gear got stolen at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Which is such a shame. We were having such a nice day, and luckily, we decided to film the dinner scene. Otherwise, all our stuff would have been in the truck. So we had a lot of our expensive stuff with us.
That doesn't mean there wasn't still $5,500 of gear that was stolen from the back of our truck. Which, by the way, was done by them slipping a screwdriver in between the full hard top tonneau cover and where it meets the truck bed flap. Flange. And they put the screwdriver in and it popped and it just opened the top up and they were able to just take everything out and then close the top. And that was easy. No damage done other than to the theft of our gear.
We then got a nice top.
We got a really, really good top for it, which we'll talk about at some point in the future to fix that problem. So it didn't happen again. Yeah. It did happen again. Different story though.
You wait till episode 2.
Yeah.
Or maybe you've seen episode 2, in which case you know what happened
again. Also $5,000 of gear stolen.
To be fair, Doug...
He had to buy a camera
He had to buy... No, it was the screw for the tripod. It was $50.
He had to buy $50. Doug, we love you. Sorry.
Let's fight.
No, listen, it's hard.
Let's have a fight. Okay. Some bad things have happened.
This next one, we've never told anybody this ever.
No, because it was quite disturbing.
Yes.
For us.
And that's not a joke, by the way. This was a very upsetting day. So basically, at one point, we won't say what the vehicles were exactly, but we had a drag race planned where we're going to put the fastest motorcycle on Earth up against an extremely fast car.
A tuned version of the fastest motorcycle.
A tuned version of the fastest motorcycle on Earth. And the owner of the motorcycle very wisely said, I can't race this.
No.
He had it, I think, more as like a showpiece, right?
Yeah, it did look...
It was mad.
Momentarily amazing.
Yeah. So he brought a driver along, like a pro motorcycle drag racer, right? And this guy hopped on the bike to do a quick sighting run down the strip. And the bike has so much power. And it was, again, a tuned version of the fastest bike on Earth. So, I mean, no one, I guess, could know. Unless you've driven that bike before, how would you know how much power it had?
Scary.
So he basically wheelie off the line, which is fine. He's done that a million times. But as he came down, I think he blipped the throttle again. And he kind of went into a harmonic and...
He got more and more aggressive.
More and more aggressive, and then dumped the bike.
Yeah, it finally went up sideways, smashed down.
Yeah.
on the other side. So we just started running.
We started running, and one redeeming cool part about all of this is that this rider was like super cool.
Oh,
Right?
he was a legend.
He was just like, what's up, guys? Yeah, no problem. I got
Yeah,
this.
hard as nails. This guy.
Absolutely hard as nails. By the time we got to him, he had a cigarette lit, and
He was like, "Yeah, broke my leg."
he's like, my leg's broken.
And it was broken.
It was 100% broken.
It was broken.
We had to call an ambulance.
And props to the paramedics. They were there within it felt like a minute.
Extremely quickly. Yeah.
And they were, and I sort of had that weird grateful. I have this weird thing about paramedics I've learned where I just get oddly tearful / grateful. It's like a weird weakness. I don't know. But I honestly, I love paramedics. I love them.
But yeah,
He's now fine.
He was fine. He apologized so much. We're like, bro, stop apologizing.
Yeah, the bike was messed up.
You're the one with the broken leg.
Yeah, it was the end of the bike as well.
The bike was a write-off, I think. Yeah.
And the video never came out.
Yeah.
It's a shame, and we've never gone back to Superbike in a video.
Yeah, just because, I don't know, just put us off of it a bit. A bit, like completely,
bit.
I guess. Yeah.
In non-human incidents, a particular car, we won't say what it is because we told GM
Oops.
Stellantis
Still
that we wouldn't mention it, and we haven't because we still haven't mentioned the vehicle.
Yeah.
Hit a deer. Carsten was filming B-roll. He hit a deer.
He hit a deer.
Little Bambi-looking thing.
Yeah, it was a really cute little one.
Immediate death.
The deer
It happens.
exploded.
It didn't. Well, it had a really big compound fracture thing. It was bad.
Yeah, it died very quickly.
But it died very quickly. And
So did the front right fender of the car.
yeah, so that video became an extra Throttle house because we could no longer film all our outside B-roll of it, unfortunately. You're welcome to guess, but really what matters here is
The deer is fine.
light a candle for the deer.
Oh. Yeah,
Felt really bad. Carsten showed no remorse. I've never seen
He's like, what's next, guys?
Yeah, you think he's cold on the outside?
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
inside,
no
he's
idea.
just ice.
Anyway, that was very sad. That put a damper on the whole day of filming.
Yeah.
That was a thing that happened.
We've had cars destroy their own paint
Yeah.
to a tune of very much money.
Yeah, like we have had a couple cars. We won't say which ones they are.
Model S Plaid and the Dodge, one of the Dodges.
So I guess we'll say which ones they are.
Our strip is quite stony.
Yeah. It's stony, but the problem is that a lot
It's
of
since
these
been sealed.
a lot of these cars, the wheels stick out a little bit.
And they're sticky.
The
tires are sticky.
So yeah, these two cars, they consumed their own fenders with like high-speed dust gravel.
Yeah, it looked like it was just dust, and we went to wipe it. It
didn't wipe.
Didn't wipe.
It didn't wipe.
So that was almost $10,000 for each car.
Each car to fix that. Yeah.
Which, as you know, the GT500 trip cost $10,000. So it
It was a repaint.
Yeah, it didn't make the videos. The videos didn't make sense in the end, as far as a business standpoint.
We actually had several, like many, no point in even mentioning them, like stone chip repairs and stuff.
Yeah.
Like just minor
And
repairs to
tires
cars.
and wheels and
Tires and wheels and chips and...
because the Throttle House promised when we borrow a car is to return it the same way it was given to us.
Yes.
And to do that with those cars, it was 10 grand each time. So that's annoying.
Yeah.
We've also had cars
Annoying?
destroy themselves in other ways.
We have?
Like the Super Snake F1 Mustang.
Oh, yeah. So the video that you've seen of the Super Snake versus Demon, you may have seen it, maybe you haven't. It's a race between those two. And this is a convertible Super Snake. That was the second time we filmed that video.
A year later.
A year later. Because the first time, well, the same thing happened. The Super Snake, I think because since it's a convertible, the convertible has extra bracing in the Mustang.
Which they took out to put in the supercharger.
So that means it is a car with way more torque, but less stiffening. So it was literally tearing itself in half.
Yeah.
That's mostly because Shelby is
Shelby American.
Shelby American
Yes.
is a
don't do it.
what's the word?
Don't, no.
Okay, I won't say anymore.
Because they're quite litigious.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, so that was their choice. Took strap brake off, add more torque. The car twisted itself in half. And
You're thinking, well, why did you do it again? And it's because we were told that it'd be fine.
yeah, because they rebuilt the car for the
rebuilt
owner.
the car.
And they're like, that will never happen again. It happened again.
It happened again.
So we put it in the video. So yeah,
That's that one.
that happened. It was a pain in the bum.
Do you know what a carnet is?
No one knows what a carnet is. Not even the people who sign the carnets at the airport know what a carnet is. A carnet is a document that you have to have if you travel across the border with commercial goods. I'm being boring for a second, bear with me. If you take a lot of commercial goods across the border, i.e. camera gear or anything expensive, you have to have a document that says, here's all the stuff I'm bringing in, here's all the stuff I'm bringing out. Otherwise, they assume you might be selling it across the border.
In which case you'd pay tax.
Which we obviously aren't.
No,
but they need to...
We're oddly well behaved.
Yes, we are. But they need to know that you're not. So, first of all, not a single U.S. border agent has the same understanding of the rules as the one next to them.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen such a variation in opinion on how things are supposed to be done.
They always need to call another agent over.
They read different books. I don't understand how it works. So half the time it's not a problem. One time we went separately. James and I went, and our crew went this way, and another crew went that way, and we couldn't do the carnet. So we were told by another agent the previous time, that's okay. Just take less gear. There's a limit to how much you can bring. Well, they said, where's your carnet? I was like, well, we can't do it. They're like, we have to do it. Blah, 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 blah. You can only take $2,000 worth of gear each. $2,000 worth of gear is one laptop. I don't know if you noticed. So we essentially did an entire week of shooting in California very recently with like...
No gear.
With like almost no gear, like a couple cameras and a couple mini audio packs. So...
Wasn't cool.
It wasn't cool. No, it really screwed us up for no reason.
So
we're not doing anything wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, that was annoying.
I've got a quick list of drag race video issues.
Yeah.
Drag races look like they should be easy to make as content.
Sometimes they're the hardest.
They are hard.
Yeah.
There was one time we showed up with an Escalade V and a Durango Hellcat, which is a video that exists on our channel and is fantastic, and is the one where we put all the people in the Hellcat and still beat the Escalade V.
That's right.
But that was the second time we tried to film that. We arrived in the rain. Doug, come on.
It was raining.
It was raining.
It hurts the rain sometimes.
And,
it can really mess up a shoot.
And honestly, it was really raining and it was very dangerous. And Thomas and I were like, okay, we'll give it a go with the cars. And we started to drive them.
I got to like 120 kilometers an hour and hydroplaned a little bit.
Just
I'm like,
hydroplaning.
Nope, not doing this. We're going to roll one of these SUVs.
So that entire day was cancelled and we still had to pay for the strip. So still thousands of dollars.
See, like thousands and thousands of dollars literally into the toilet.
The day we filmed a Mazda 3 Turbo on our strip, Jason Camisa recently ran into issues with this. The octane, it's highly sensitive to the octane.
Insanely sensitive.
We'd gone driving for ages and replaced it with 94,
Yeah.
and somehow it was intermittently quick. We'd do a race and it felt quick, and we were like, okay,
it was wrong.
Yeah, and so that was just a real headache. And props to the owner who went for a drive for ages for us to make that work.
To try and get every last little bit of maybe the wrong octane out.
Yeah, so we could refill it.
Yeah.
So yeah, the F82, is a 2? M4s are a 2? F82?
I think.
That's the coupe. The F80 generation M4 CS is a video that never saw the light of day.
Yes.
We tested that against the C63 coupe and I want to say an RS5.
RS5, I think.
And the M4 CS launch control was so difficult and so annoying that it basically only worked every 14 times. And on that 14th time, somehow one of the other cars misbehaved.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've seen Thomas that angry ever.
I was ready to put a brick on the pedal of this car and send it off a cliff.
So I don't even remember the result.
I don't even remember. We never got a result.
No, and any footage we had was just Thomas so angry.
Because I must have tried launch control in that car 80 times.
And there's mechanical sympathy moments as well. You're like, well, I don't want to do this to this car anymore.
Yeah. The owner was like, do it, man. It'll do it. I was like, it's not doing it.
To be fair, the M4 CS, I mean, until the new gens with all the X drives, that previous gen M4 CS was not built for launch and drag racing.
No.
Excellent track.
It's an animal. That car, good car. But what a pain.
There was this one time we did an M5 CS versus 911 Turbo. It's a video on our channel. You may have noticed it. And I said to Thomas, you know what would be a great video? 911 Turbo S versus the M5 CS. Mm-hmm. And I thought I had made that video until we were on the strip and one of the owners was like, oh, I'm surprised you only got the Turbo, not the Turbo S. And I was like...
I've never seen him get so like defeated because all this work goes in to put these two cars together that we know is going to be interesting for you guys to watch, and to realize in the moment after everyone's there, the drone's in the air, the whole thing, that it's not the right car is heartbreaking.
It was like hearing No Splash when Peter Pan jumps off of the ship.
I had to convince him
There was no S.
to do it.
Where's the S? There was no. I was looking for the S. I was like, okay, maybe there's not an S on the back, but there is an S, and there was no S.
I was just like, let's just do the race anyway. I bet you it's still going to be interesting, and it was.
Turbo still destroyed the M5CS.
It's still destroyed, yeah.
That's why you never need an S.
You don't need the S. I still don't know the difference.
Just more.
But like, I've never felt the difference. I've driven both of them.
That's the thing. I drove it to the track feeling like an S the whole time.
Exactly, because you can't tell.
We had a GoPro issue at one of the drag races.
Well, first of all, what about 1 billion GoPro issues?
Yeah, wrong frame rates.
Yeah, it's endless.
Wasn't on.
Every single shoot. Remember we said every shoot that stuff happens to us? That's one of the things. But this one particularly...
Also, it involves Carsten, and that's just funny.
It's just funny. So here's what happened. So we used the GoPros for many different things, but back then I think we only had like 2 or 3 of them. And we used the GoPros for the finish line camera for the drag races, just because it's easy for someone to be out there, push record, and go sit down as the cars go. Oh. But we had 4 races probably we filmed that day, and we had all the finish line shots of those races on one GoPro. And then we had a full extra review to film in the afternoon into the evening, which we did. And we used that same GoPro for the mounted to the outside of the car shots that you see, where there's like Karsten takes them out. He mounted it. I go do my drifting, we get all the shots, and Karsten goes out again and mounts the camera so it looks at the rear wheel. He does some drifts, and then you see the smoke pouring out, and it's a cool shot to integrate. On one of the drifts, the camera went somewhere into the field, and he came back and realized he had no idea when or where on a several mile racetrack. We're talking acres of fields, and on said GoPro was the cumulative work of the first half of the day.
All the finish line shots.
So,
and the one thing Thomas is missing here is the sun had set.
Yeah, at this point the sun was down.
It was pitch black.
So we spent how long? A couple hours at least.
Yeah. Anytime you've seen one of those scenes in the film where all the town is out with flashlights looking.
GoPro.
Yeah,
GoPro.
We literally did a track walk again and again and again,
over and over again.
And then I found it.
He found it, and then didn't tell anybody.
You got to have a bit of fun. You know.
He didn't tell anybody, and what he did was he thought it was going to be a good idea to start to get really overly mad at Karsten.
Which you don't do.
By the way, Karsten was immediately torn to shreds.
You've never seen him like this.
He was apoplectic. Is that the word?
Apocalyptic.
He was apocalyptic. One of those. He was so upset. And we're like, don't worry, we'll find it. It's not a big deal. We're going to make this work. We're going to figure it out. We can CGI
I'm
the
normally
finish line
very
shots.
nice. I'm normally the spirit leader of the team.
So he decided, as this is after we've been searching for a couple hours, he starts yelling at Karsten. He starts like ranting.
No, I wasn't. I was like, you know what? I've had enough.
Yeah.
All right, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. You should have done this. It's unacceptable.
And Thomas ran to Karsten's defense. He was like, whoa!
I was like, wait a second. So I started yelling at him.
Because he didn't understand why it escalated.
And then James goes, I think it's completely unacceptable. And he said, I'm like, you son of a bitch. Yeah, so apparently we still like to have fun even when
that was big scary.
It's time to know when to just tell Karsten that everything's going to be okay.
And Karsten's had his own, moments while filming. So they ran into the border patrol during the Arctic 5N launch, or Arctic 5 launch, sorry.
Yeah.
Where they were questioned because they thought they were being smuggled or fugitives, but they were fine. As you can imagine, over the years, there's been a lot of police interactions. We won't go into them all.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm not going to go into them. They're all just like fine.
Yeah.
Because for the most part, we do behave.
Yeah.
All right, I'm on to the quick fire now. These are things that just, not to bring up Doug again, but, just things that have happened.
Yeah.
When we filmed the Rolls-Royce Spectre, the rear glass of our Honda Pilot film car just shattered over Harrison's hands.
That's worth a little bit more of an explanation than just a quick fire. It's actually quite funny and scary. So the glass had to be up in the back so we could do the shots through the city. Where Karsten sits in the back on a seat with a seatbelt, I might add. And
go away, cops!
You see that? And films us driving around the city. And the glass had been up all day, and maybe it had some stress fractures in it or something, but Harrison walked over to it and went to just touch it to close it, and it exploded.
Yes.
And spectacularly.
Cut his hands up and stuff.
Yeah, it was this massive thing. It was all, he had no idea what happened. He said it was like a gunshot. So
if you're on Dundas West,
and you shot the glass of a pilot, let us know.
this was right outside Milk.
Milk, yeah.
We had an Airbnb near Willow Springs Raceway in that Lancaster Palmdale area.
It was 100% used as a corn set.
Yeah, well, we showed up with, as you do, supercars. So it had Acura NSX Type S, 911 Turbo S lightweight,
Yeah.
and some other stuff. And it was like
Expensive cars.
yeah, it was. And, one thing about Airbnbs is until you get the address, you can't really scout it. And it was a really, really dodgy road.
Really
There were
dodgy
sort of
area.
Pit bulls everywhere. They were like,
Sorry, that needs more of an explanation. There were literally just pit bulls wandering the streets.
yeah. If you know Palmdale, you know that there's a good side of Palmdale and a not great side of Palmdale.
And then there was like a car literally out front, half burnt out, missing its tires.
Well, we were like, you know what? Let's not judge this. And then we went in, and there was
Actual stains on the sheets.
stains. We'll say stains everywhere.
Yeah. Again,
And
it was used for cornography.
Pornography.
Yeah.
So we left, and then what happened was the Airbnb. We tried to get our money back. It was thousands.
Yeah.
And the Airbnb claimed that we had made those stains.
Oh, he could have. James could have ran in real quick and
Yeah.
just marked his territory.
I'm not
We don't
20,
know.
I'm not 22 anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, so that's thousands gone.
Thousands gone.
And we immediately had to book another Airbnb.
Instantly, yeah.
Which we did, which didn't have enough bedrooms. Actually, it was really nice
It
though.
was really nice, but it was lacking bedrooms.
Had a stables behind it.
Yeah.
So there was that.
Yeah.
There was when we did a drag race, an Accord we borrowed from a dealership arrived clearly tuned.
So we did a quick test race, and it was like,
Yeah. It wasn't just
What?
it was
we opened the hood, and it's got all these parts, there's intercoolers
So
and everything.
I
We're
called
like,
the dealership at the time because this was against the Camry TRD.
Yeah.
And this is a race we did make happen eventually. So the Accord you see in that race is not a tuned one.
Yeah.
But I said to the dealership, I think this is tuned. They were like, no, it's not. Also, we need it back right now for photos.
Yes.
For Auto Trader. And
Yeah.
I think I found it as an Auto Trader listing that had
Yeah.
already had professional photos. So
Yeah.
don't know what happened there. A bit strange.
Yeah.
But the whole race and the day was ruined. We've had some drone incidents.
Yeah, one time we flew a drone into...
The W's wrong.
Okay, I didn't do this one. That was with someone else. The rest of them are all me.
Okay.
Someone else flew a drone into a Supra that we were filming. Thankfully, it was PPF'd.
More accurately, across the bonnet of the new Supra.
I love this huge scar, but it was PPF'd, and it just, healed it.
Yeah, this is all one big advert for Expel.
Yeah, this whole video.
But honestly, it self-healed
it
with
was
some heat,
amazing.
and it was incredible.
Yeah. I flew a drone into a cactus.
More detail, please.
I flew a drone into the only cactus
At Willow Springs.
at Willow Springs.
The only vertical
One cactus.
hit it.
And I managed to hit it while doing a side panning
Yeah.
shot.
When filming
Drone written
the
off.
Civic Type R, we were filming in Ontario. Thomas flew it into the telephone wire,
Yeah, written off.
and it came
drone.
straight down in front of me and smashed across the ground.
Yeah, I flew a drone. These are all me. I flew a drone into a tree chasing the EQS. There's actually, is that in the video?
It might be in the video.
The shot is in the video for sure
Yeah.
that you see, but I
It
came around a
hits the
corner.
tree.
Came around a corner. There's this cool. We got a new drone. It was really fast. It was like sick. So I put it on like the high speed mode, following the car, hit a tree.
After that,
wrote the drone off.
Thomas no longer flies the drone. We hired a drone operator
Yeah.
in a middle bit, and now Joey,
Yeah,
our man Joey, flies the drone very well.
has yet to crash the drone.
Yes. Dan flies it sometimes as well.
He crashed it though.
He did he? Yeah, I think he
Oh
did.
no, that was me.
That was you again? Dan puked up.
Oh, he did threw up because he was
We were
flying
like-
the drone from the back of the car he was
No,
in.
he was in the passenger seat next to me.
Yeah, yeah,
And we
yeah.
were doing canyons, and that mix of being in the goggles on the canyon, he got
Poor
out,
guy.
and the
Yeah.
spaghetti was no longer in him.
Yeah.
We've had a Camry and a Stinger blow their tyres on the way to the shoot. Day cancelled. The NSX Type S that you see in our old versus new NSX, the new one, first new one, had an issue that it malfunctioned. It fixed itself a bit later, but you might notice that the seat colour changes, and a lot of you did actually,
Yeah.
of the NSX Type S in that video.
We hoped you wouldn't notice. You did.
Yeah,
Those are two different NSXs.
We happened to be lucky, 'cause that was the press car that I think malfunctioned.
Yes,
And
and
then
we had an
Joe,
owner's-
who'd let us borrow his old Zanardi NSX, also had a Type S and let us carry on with that, which was also yellow.
Yes.
That had different seats.
Yeah.
You popped the tyre while drifting a 2024 Mustang GT.
barely remember that, but that sounds like something that I would do. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of NSXs, we had an owner who was ready to come out and let us use his NSX, his old NSX, as part of the, what was it, the overpriced JDM Anonymous sketch.
Oh, right.
He hydroplaned on the way, smashed it.
Oh, I forgot about that.
It was very sad.
That sucks.
Now he bought an Alpha 4C.
Not bad. Not bad.
The day we filmed the Corvette Z06 and the Lotus Emira, the day began with a Corvette check engine light, and it ended with an Emira check engine light.
But thankfully, in the middle, there were no check engine lights.
They both, they sort of
held themselves together.
It was a clean middle,
And then,
and then a stone came over and smashed through the Revuelto while we were filming. That's the most recent thing that's happened.
Yeah, that definitely happened.
How much in damage? Don't know. Don't ask. Not going to ask Lambo.
We don't know. We haven't talked to them.
If you're wondering, Lamborghini were legends. They said stuff happens.
Yes,
Which it does.
it does.
And we have not got a bill, and they fixed it in the meantime and have since given it to other local journalists. So
Yes.
So that is just off the top of our head the things that have gone wrong while filming.
Yeah.
From human injuries to dead animals to many. I don't even know what the total cost of issue is. I mean, from the paints to the tires.
Tens of thousands.
It might be six figures.
It might be 100,000 of like just damages. I do want to say though that we have a very talented group of people that help us make these videos. However, technology exists and it doesn't always work properly. So pretty much every single shoot, something happens, and it's just par for the course. Doing high production stuff.
We also attempt to make cinema films.
Which is stupid, really. I don't know what we're doing. But yeah, like, memory cards will fail, batteries will die. I forgot to bring something. That's happened many times.
So many times.
And yeah, we have to adapt. You just learn to adapt and move on, right?
I don't want to take away from Doug's issues. But we have.
We did though, right, with this whole video.
And Doug, if you want to spin a diss track, we will lay down a beat.
We're waiting. We're waiting.
Oh, we won't be the first overly white YouTubers to suddenly do a rap music song.
Anyway, yeah.
I would love someone to one up this. I'd love it if you know, Top Gear or Auto Trader or someone just did a. Let's do it.
Yeah. They're going to say Dave died. on the first shoot. Yeah,
we haven't had
want that to happen. But yeah, feel free. Top it. You got better stories than those? Let's hear them.
And if you did enjoy that, we will make the stupid stuff we've done while filming video. Because that's funny.
That's funny.
Because we're idiots.
Yeah.
All that stuff was not stuff we did.
Yeah. Yeah. These ones are. You got list there? Oh yeah, we're dumb.
Yeah, we started the list on that one.
Oh, we're dumb.
Anyway, I'm glad Extra Throttle House lives. We're alive.
Here it is, on the couch.
You can't kill us. GT63 is a safe place to die, apparently.
Very comfy.
Yeah. Wait, if this is Extra Throttle House, that means we get to